Hello there, I'm Snom, and welcome back. So, last time we did the first 3 worlds, and this time we're doing the 4th world. But, there's a problem. I've already played this, and the audio for me talking didn't record. So, instead, there I am, past me, right there.
Oh, I've heard so much about you, and this is the hero I have to blow away? Seems like a bunch of hot air to me.
Okay, so instead of replaying the first 3 worlds just to then replay the 4th world, and because I don't have the save file because I saved over it like an idiot, I'm just going to show you the footage I have, and I'll pop in occasionally for commentary where necessary, because I don't really want to be sat here for an hour in awkward silence, because my commentary is not good. I'm decent at the gameplay, I get better as I go, but talking is not my strong suit. So I'm going to just hide for a bit, but I hope you enjoy, I don't know, some weird Crash version of ASMR where it's just me playing through the 5 levels in silence. So yeah, enjoy. I'll pop in on occasion. So what I was doing there was I did a spin kick to try and break the boxes beneath the TNT, but what I meant to do was hit the slide button so Coco does a slow sweep. So yeah, having failed that, I tested out the low sweep, and now I'm off to try it again. There, you see? I managed to pull it off the second time round. Right, so in this section, an avalanche chases down after you, and you'll notice in the bottom left corner it says 2 out of 22. Now that's because these flags, you have to travel through them, and if you get all of them in a single run, you get an extra gem. Now clearly I've already failed that here, because I've missed more than a few, but I did come back to do this afterwards, and there'll be footage of that. And though I do miss some boxes, the avalanche itself does destroy the ones I miss. Yep, and there's the crystal. And as we come to the end of the level, there we get the gem as well. So that's the first level done. So here I'm just yammering on about how I'm going to go back to get that special gem. Oh, that poor bastard in the corner. Doesn't know that nobody can hear him. Alright, and back in he goes. So I'm going to skip the footage here so that you only see the finished attempt. So I'll meet back with you when I'm there. Alright, at this point we've made it back to the avalanche. And on the GameCube, you press B to speed up on the snowboard. But instead of holding it down, I'm just tapping it slowly so that I go just fast enough that the avalanche can't catch me. But it gives me the reaction time to get all the flags. It took more than a few tries to get this right, because some of the flags are on completely opposite sides and they come up really quickly when you're going too fast. So I've just got the 15th, 16th and 17th, so I think this is the attempt where I got it done. Yes, it is. And there he goes. So I got all 22, and I hit the box just for good measure because I got all the boxes on this run as well. I was quite pleased that I managed to do that. So now that level's done. So we're on to level 16. Oh, 17, sorry. So Droid Void is the next level. Now, at this point, I'm just sat in the corner complaining about how another one of the bad things about this game that people complain about is the monkey bars, the hangrails that I'm using at the moment. The speed Crash moves on it is so painfully slow that when you're doing time trials, it feels like you failed just because you're going normal pace. But in all the other Crash games with ceiling climbing like this, you go much faster. It's just another part of this game that's just not really optimized or done well. Yep, one of my favourite Crash games, and I've still got nothing but complaints about it. Right, at this point, I was being cautious because the railings have electricity on them, and they alternate between the ceiling and the floor. And because of how slow you move, you've got to jump between them pretty quickly to not get electrocuted. And I made it across, and there's the bonus. And it's good to see I've started rebuilding my lives back up. Oh, and here we have another instance of the sneak shoes being needed. I've noticed that aside from 1 or 2 levels, one of which being the very last levels if I remember right, the only time the sneak shoes are needed is in bonuses. Oh, and there's the mech suit. Yeah, so the aiming of the Wumper launcher on the mech suit is inverted controls. So it's a bit finicky for me to try and aim correctly. So I have to get far back enough that I can actually hit that life crate. I think I get it this time. There we go. Yeah, one of the fun things about this level is that you can shoot nitro crates and it'll just kill multiple enemies in at least like 2 or 3 sections. So that's quite satisfying, I suppose. And because of how heavy the mech suit is, these metal crates, you just jump on them and they break immediately. Yeah, I jumped on those crates not yet realising you can just walk into them. But at this point I realised that. Yeah, you can see me struggling to aim just to shoot that one enemy. Yeah, you don't have the luxury of aiming carefully when it comes to the time trial. So that's going to be a struggle. There, isn't that satisfying? Now at this point, if you look to the left, I just passed a gem platform. So I noticed that, went to get the checkpoint, and now we can go use the purple gem to try and get another grey gem. And I think this is an interesting bonus path, because it takes a long while to go slowly, because you have a gun, you can just shoot everything out of the way, but it's just going to take a minute. But it's one of the only gem paths where you get to go using a vehicle. Because normally when you use a vehicle, it's just for a small section or an entire level, but there's no bonuses involved. So this is actually a very unique situation. Yeah, here you can see I'm carefully trying to get a life and that mask crate without dying. So I'm really taking my time. There we go. And you can see the gem in the distance there at the back. So, seeing that all of the crates in this section are accounted for, so if you get the nitro crate, all of them will break. You don't have to redo this. I decide the best option, grab the gem, and then just let Crash die. So that means I can do the rest of the level and get all of the boxes to try and get both gems and the crystal in one go. So there we are, continuing on with the level. Now, I did have a bit of difficulty with this enemy, because without a mask, I seem to always get hit by it, and the next jump actually has a nitro crate next to it that took me a minute to figure out how to jump over. But turns out, in this mech suit, you can actually jump over a nitro crate while breaking the crate above it without getting hurt. Oh, and there's the crystal. There you see, jumped over. Yeah, this enemy also gave me some trouble. And the box above it particularly. Well, let's just enjoy the minute of watching past me struggle. Yeah, I wasn't the best at aiming the Wumpa bazooka. No, that was me checking if the box had broken. And there we go. Alright, and there's the end of the level. And I got both gems and the crystal in one run. Which I was pretty pleased with, actually. So the next level is Crash Droids, where you play as Coco in a spaceship. Yeah, I also found the mask's taunts to be really lacking, because the other ones are like, I'm going to set you on fire, or, you know, I'm going to drown you, like, serious threats. And that air mask is basically like, is there a draft in here? Aren't you cold? It's like he's just trying to have a casual conversation, really. Yeah, so in this level, I've got to hit all 3 satellites in order to hit the space stations. And there's 3 space stations. So 12 targets in total. And when I was a kid, this was a very difficult level. I actually struggled to beat it at all. But in this playthrough, I actually found it surprisingly, well, not easy, but... well, I managed to do it first try, and I was surprised. there I've managed to get all of the boxes, so I just, yep, I hovered around waiting for the gem to pop to make sure. And there's the level complete. Yeah, so I was quite surprised I managed to do that first try, because when I was younger, that was really, really difficult. Like, I'd get shot down and die repeatedly. Same with the other flying levels, actually, which I think I also did first try in this playthrough of Wrath of Cortex. Alright, Coral Canyon. This is the point where my soul wanted to die. Yeah, I do not like the underwater levels. They are too big vertically. There's too much space to explore. Not enough going on. The mine enemies just drop out of the ceiling randomly. Like, not random, but it's sneaky because you can't see them coming half the time. That it just feels like it's cheating. It just doesn't feel fair. It definitely doesn't feel fun. But thankfully, it didn't take me too long to get this level done. I did die quite a few times though, so I will be skipping through footage. And I died. That's the first of many. So at this point, I'm going to skip back to that tentacle where I died. Right, so at this point, I've gotten back to the tentacle that killed me. And that's the exact kind of thing I keep complaining about. You can only go so fast, and those mines just drop from the ceiling and kill you. Thankfully I had a mask, but a lot of retries of this section I wouldn't be so lucky. Oh, that was a close save. Yeah, I'm not too sure why I was so focused on trying to shoot that nitro crate. Because every level with nitros has a box at the end of the level to blow them all up. Now this barrel was a lifesaver because you get to actually swim around as Crash. Now at this point I ironically said it's easier to control, then immediately died. But it does feel safer as Crash than in the submarine. Now, you'll notice I've been thrown a fair distance back, so I'm going to have to skip a large portion of footage to get back to where I was. Alright, we've made it back to the barrel, so at this point I tried to be more careful with Crash, but the controls are still very hit and miss. So you can only do so much in terms of steering around. And a checkpoint, which I was very grateful was there. Yeah, another thing with these water levels is that there's very few checkpoints, so there's massive portions of torture you have to go through every time you die. You have to replay large chunks of it again. It's just not fun. For some reason I felt the need to kill this guy. No idea why, because I just ended up going in circles for a minute there. And I did check at the top to see if there was any boxes, but like a lot of these underwater levels, there's large sections to the side that literally have nothing there. They're just there to make the level feel bigger, which is another part of the torture. But there's a ton of hidden boxes behind the reeds here, the seaweed. And every time I pass through that in the time trials, it always hurts me. I still haven't figured out how to get past those metal crates without getting hurt. Oh, also at this point I realised that the super death tornado that you unlock after the third boss, you can actually use it underwater, which will help keep maintaining a faster speed throughout the time trials. Oh, and we got the crystal. So that's one less thing to worry about. And the nitro crate. And there we go. I got all the boxes as well. So I will have to revisit this for the time trial, which I'm currently playing that as I'm recording this audio. And it's that annoying that I've actually taken a break and checked the footage to edit, which is how I noticed the audio didn't record. So, I suppose the only good thing about that level is it did make me notice the audio was busted.
Not used to the weather here. I a wimp.
Yeah, you see, the mask, it just sounds like it's trying to hold a conversation. You're not used to the weather. Is it cold? Is there a draft in here? It's really not very threatening compared to the other masks. I'm surprised it's the last one. So Weathering Heights is the 5th level in this world. Yeah, I was trying to jump on the TNT and not hit the nitros there, but you know, I detonated them one way or another, just not how I intended. And I started bouncing on that crate before I realised there was a drop in the floor. And we get to use the sneak shoes yet again. What a rare treat. Well, I've managed to get back to 34 lives, which is more than I thought I'd get to when I was playing this. Yeah, I waited for the TNT to blow up because I was wondering if there was something above the rails that I could jump up to get. But there's an invisible wall stopping you. Yeah, in other Crash games, they would have been able to walk on top of that and there'd be like a crate or something. Oh, and I died to the heat out of that vent, so I'm going to skip the footage yet again. So I got back to the vent, and I was extra careful not to die from it this time. Something extra to note. Oh, there's the crystal. That invisibility box. I'd always thought it was just like a one-off power-up or something, but it turns out it's actually a crate. Yeah, I think I die more than a few times to these lasers because I get not lazy. I lose focus. And the fan blades, they get me a few times too. So as soon as past Snom dies again, I'll skip to the successful attempt. Alright, so we've made it back to the fan blades, and I already made it past the first two just to die to this third one. So I realised I actually had to stop halfway to let them spin, because there's just not enough time for you to make it past all of them. And we've made it to the end of the level. With every crate. Yippee! So that's the entire fourth world. I got all of the crate gems and all of the crystals. And all that's left would be to fight the boss, which in this first version of footage, I described it as, I remembered when I was a kid, you were in an airplane.
Hey, look! The orange boy likes to fly!
Time to earn your wings, kid.
Yeah, so I remembered you were in an airplane for the fight, and that Crunch had a weird body shape like the genie from Aladdin, or like Casper the Friendly Ghost, like that kind of wisp tail underneath his torso. It's a weird genie-esque body shape he's got. So to save you from the torment of my commentary for any longer than you have to, I've skipped to the final attempt where I beat the boss. So I'd realised the mask spins around what part of his body he's going to attack with. And to damage him, you have to shoot that part of his body. So here, he shoots a laser out of his right hand, and to hurt him, you have to shoot the right hand. Yeah, so you just spin around the screen to dodge the laser, and when he attacks with his torso, you can see a gap in the rays that he fires, so you can use that to figure out where to dodge. When he shoots with his left hand, he throws an orb, which you can just fly to the top left of the screen to dodge that. And when he attacks with his eyes, he shoots little homing balls that kind of fly around. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Just shoot where the mask is, which signifies where he's attacking from. And he's got a lot of health, but as long as you can figure out how to dodge each attack, it's effectively the same 4 attacks on repeat. But when he does get to very low health, he starts doing attacks in a different order. But it still stays pretty basic, so it only really took me about 2 attempts to beat this. It's just a bit of a longer boss fight because of how much health he has. So at this point I was quite surprised he just explodes into a pile of bones. And so I unlocked the Fruit Bazooka, which past Snom is currently reading out the instructions on screen, blissfully unaware that no one can hear him. Yeah, so the Fruit Bazooka you can use to shoot boxes that are at a distance, and I'm assuming the last 5 levels, well, the levels in World 5, will have boxes in hard-to-reach places specifically to use the Fruit Bazooka. So, at this point, I've finished the 4th world, and I'm going to put in the footage of me doing the time trials. Whoops, I'm just going to pop the real me back in. Hello. So, yeah, he's just exploring the 5th world. So, I'm really sorry about having to do a commentary on top of this video. It is possibly the worst video I've ever done. But when your microphone refuses to record, what can you do? It would take ages to replay the first 3 worlds to get back here. So, yeah, I'm going to skip to when I do the time relics, and then, because I'm in the middle of filming them at the moment, you'll see the real current time me at the end. So, I'll see you then. Alright, what did I get? Okay, Sapphire. Okay. Sapphire, that's fine. On gold. 119.80. Okay, as long as I got one. Whew. Well, I'm glad that's done. Alright, so hello again. Present day Snom here. So yeah, I did the time relics. This fucker over here, Coral Canyon, has given me so much stress. I genuinely am debating not even doing the platinums. Like, I'm still gonna try when I've finished the game, because I've done it for 3 Crash games. I can at least try, but at the very least, that video is going to be delayed. I think, just because of the stress. I need to take a break from this after I finish the story. So next time we've got Crash and Burn, Gold Rush, Medieval Madness, Crate Balls of Fire, and Cortex Vortex in the new 5th world. And once we've done that, we should have access to every level in the bonus world after I get these time relics. So I'm going to end it here. It has taken a day and a half because to make this video, because I had to re-record the entire video's worth of audio. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed what is, I think, is my worst video yet, but I could only do so much. So I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully it'll be better. Snom out.